Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B Live, the Money Man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. We talking sports. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's been this is another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. And as always, if you like what we got going on here, just do us a favor, hit that follow button, give us a like, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. Whether you're tuning in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, your support helps us bring the heat each and every week. Also, follow us all over social media. Just click the link in the chat or description box to keep up with the Sports Bros. I go by the name of the H.O.C, Eddy Kool, and North. And I'm glad my AC is working, but due to my living quarters and where I'm recording at, you don't want to hear no AC loud running in the background. But enough of my incoherent rambling and weather update. I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, running the ship down there in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He is the almighty B Live.
What's happening and what's going on in the world today? Let me establish something real quick. As much as I do care about the quality of this podcast and putting together a professional product week in and week out, with the way this weather is outside, I don't give a damn if you hear a fan, an AC, none of that. I'm not about to die for none of y'all. I'm just go ahead and just be honest with you. But I think I've got the equipment to drown out the noise in the background, whatnot. I hope. But yeah, I want to start off this real quick by my official jersey number is number 15. And if I end up being traded to a team that somebody else has the number 15, I can tell you one number that I will not get ever.
Whoa.
The number 0. Who knew? I like my Achilles tendons. That's just rough. But yeah, that's, let's
the number 0 would look like a Cheerio on your jersy, my little friend.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this on this episode right now. Just introduce them. Don't worry. You want woosah. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me?
0.
Eddy Kool, just I got you. Introduce this dude. Introduce the other guy.
And the other guy, the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, who's currently not in Washington, Pennsylvania at the moment. He's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm pretty sure sweating his tookers off as well, too.
I'm call my mama. My mom close enough to him to put some hands on him.
Eli, that remind me of Ali Sadiq's show. He just called my mom. Oh, sorry, y'all. He just called my mom. If y'all ever get a chance to watch Ali Sadiq's comedy specials, My Two Sons, please watch it. But getting back on track, he is the one, the only, coming to you live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He's still the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, the Money Man Scottie D.
Hi, Claudio Castagnoli. Born to be wild. Look at me floating in the waves down here at Myrtle Beach.
I'm like, are you trying to simulate that you're floating?
I am. If you're watching the whatever we do this, however we do this,
the live stream,
on the live stream or on the VCR, here I am floating around in Myrtle Beach.
Oh man, Scottie D, how's the weather down there, man?
Hot, hotter than. Okay, hotter than train smoke.
Hotter than train smoke, yeah. Super hot, hotter than train smoke. Well, fellas, with that being said, Scottie D, I'm glad you arrived safe to Myrtle Beach and be live. Yeah, keep your fans going because at this rate, yeah, keep that. I got a mini fan. Maybe I should plug it up and keep it going.
Hey, this thing is crucial. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm
But
telling
I don't need it. I got good AC. But I got a minute. Where the fans at? Where the fans at? Whoa. Oh,
Yep. 803 Fresh, don't come for us because we ain't, don't do that.
yeah.
And with that being said, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the NBA Finals, LeBron, this whole ring culture comment, the KD trade that kind of sort of overshadowed Game 7. But with that being said, enough of me lollygagging and gallylagging. Let's go and hop right into the top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. Well, fellas, another 82 game season has ended, and we have crowned a new champion for the seventh time in the last 7 years. We have a new champion. There's been no repeat champions. This time, the Larry O'Brien, it goes to Oklahoma City as the Thunder defeat the Pacers 103-91, and the Thunder clinched the franchise's first NBA title since relocating from Seattle in 2008. Now, SGA, he wound up being the MVP of the finals, and he's also the regular season MVP, and also won a scoring title throughout the season. But anyways, he finished the game with 29 points and 12 assists. Jalen Williams, he had 20 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And Chet Holmgren, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. All right, with that being said, fellas, the biggest blow to the Pacers was Tyrese Halliburton. Literally, we pretty much saw the same thing happen to him we saw it with Kevin Durant back in 2019 with him tearing up his Achilles. With that being said, fellas, are there any takeaways from this game? Anybody got anything to say about this?
Be didn't like the number 0, I think, right?
Of course, but because it's been noticed that players with the number 0 on their jersey throughout these playoffs have not had a good Achilles situation by the likes of Jaylen Brown and Damian Lillard also suffering Achilles injuries during this postseason.
You mean Jason Tatum?
Tatum, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's right. Well, one of them $300 million boys in Boston. But yeah, so I got a few takeaways. I got a few. First off, to the naysayers out there talking about this has been an injury-plagued postseason, because they were saying that's the only reason why Indy made it to star players. And now OKC, Game 7, Tyrese Halliburton goes down with injury. For those that are saying that, they only made it because of injury, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to professional sports. Sorry about your luck, but that's part of the game. That's why there's strength and conditioning coaches littered across the board. Little known fact, I thought about making this a pepper point, but I'm just going to put it out there. Eddie, you're familiar with Scottie D. I'm not. You know Irmo High School in South Carolina?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Do you know that they have 4 athletic trainers? This is high school. They have 4 full-time athletic trainers, all of them getting paid between $60,000 to $90,000 a year. This is a high school.
And we only had 1 athletic trainer.
That's how serious athletic trainers, and that's in high school.
Mm-hmm.
All of this technology, all this advances in medicine, science, and all these things, and these guys are falling off the wayside by with these paperclip ankles and knees or whatever. Maybe you should go back to wearing high tops. You didn't have this issue when basketball players wore high tops. I don't know. That's a little small takeaway. I don't want to make OKC's championship because of injury, but I want to say this to all the naysayers: stop doing that. Stop making these boneheaded storylines where SGA is always at the foul line. We've already talked about that. Sick of that. SGA has done something now that Kobe Bryant and LeBron James hasn't done. Scoring title, MVP, NBA Finals MVP. Kobe nor LeBron have done that in their entire careers. Michael Jordan did it 4 times. The reason why I bring up that takeaway is because they got this new graphic out there that SGA is the only player in NBA history that has won the scoring title, the MVP, the conference finals MVP, and the NBA finals MVP. The reason why that's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal. It's a deal. But the conference finals MVP has only been around for 4 years. So there's only been 4 chances to do that. So Michael Jordan would have done it 4 times. And whatever is whatever. But SGA has done something that Kobe and LeBron hasn't done. So props to SGA on that. Another takeaway. Sorry about your luck on Michelob Ultra. Jalen Williams for OKC.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
He took a sip of the Michelob Ultra that was provided for the team and was like, ooh. I guess it was his first beer. And I'm sorry, Michelob Ultra. It's not that flavorful to him.
It ain't that good. It ain't that good. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't know. I'll go ahead and say it. Be like, if I ain't got to lose, it ain't that good. It ain't that
good. For the world to see, that's not good marketing at all. Like, oh man. But across the board, my biggest takeaway is that this was a very good series that casual NBA fans did not see because they didn't have the big storyline. People, stop looking for stories and enjoy the sport. We got to see pure basketball. We got to see where guys took it to the hole. They didn't shoot a whole bunch of 3-pointers. Defense. You saw defense. Oh my God. I thought Indy was going to win this series by defense and defense alone. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It was just too much when Halliburton went down. That's just too much to overcome. But
would they have won if he didn't get hurt?
I think so.
If he was completely healthy?
I think they were Indy was playing defensive smash mouth basketball. I like it just. But I mean, at the end of it, you got to score enough points. Defense wins championships, but Tyrese Halliburton not being there at all is it's hard to game plan for that.
Okay, but see, he was there in Game 4, and that was when the Pacers had the opportunity to go up 3-1 and had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and SGA scored 15 points in the last 4.5 minutes. And they ended up winning that game on a 16-7 run. That was the beginning of the end to Indy for me. They win that game, they probably would have won the whole thing. But they lost that game and lost their home court advantage. And that was a factor in Game 7, with or without Halliburton. I'm not 100% sure that he would have a healthy Halliburton wins that series, because I just think the Thunder were that good. So they very well may. I mean, you don't know. He might have turned the ball over 5 times in the fourth quarter. You just never know how things shake out. But I wish that he would have been there. I mean, I'm sorry to see that happened to him. I hate the Achilles and the ACL injuries. I hate when that happens to athletes. I mean, these guys work hard. They train their bodies and they do all they can. And to have that happen at the most inopportune time, the 3 guys, that's. Got to wonder if there's some kind of connections. There's going to be a study done. Something being done differently to the court. Is the guys putting too much stress on their bodies by having the season go on too long? I don't know, but it's obviously the calf injury was linked to this because it set up for it. He was not 100% the last 3 games of this series. Talking about Halliburton,
when it comes to this, I was watching Nightcap last night, and if you think about it, fellas. you remember one point in time when it came to basketball and a lot of sports, when the season was over with, it was done. You weren't doing nothing else. But now you got these summer pickup leagues, the Olympics, and everything else in between. And with that being said, like I forgot, was it Joe Johnson or Cedric Maxwell that made the point, or Sterling Sharp or Shannon Sharp? Anyways, the point was, players don't rest like they used to, and
No.
being a former athlete, and to anybody out there that's ever been an athlete, rest is crucial and key to your body and getting back to 100% or close to it. And then you come into a game like this, nursing a calf injury, because you got to think about it. You look at the calf, you look at the Achilles at the bottom, all that is connected.
Oh, yeah.
All that is connected. And when you see the slow motion shot, as soon as he plant that right foot, that thing, yep, you see this pop and roll right up, and as soon as that, because what happened was, I forgot what I was doing. B-Dot sent the text. He's like, "Uh-oh, Tyrese Halliburton hurt, non-contact injury." I said to myself, "It's that Achilles. It's that Achilles." But I think that's what it is. I'm like, with these guys always on the go, they're not getting that rest, and I think, unfortunately, things like that happen. You got to take care of yourself. I understand that you wanting to be there for your team, but at this point in time, you're playing the 82. You're looking at what, 115 plus games.
Well, I'm going to make this argument. I'm always going to make this argument. Players been doing that. This isn't nothing new.
Yeah.
And we've had this argument on the show before. Not really an argument, debate, that I still attribute this to when they're young. All this AAU ball, like these kids playing basketball.
Well, yeah, but that's you're kind of tying into what he's saying.
Yeah.
But there's never really. This is how it always is for these guys. They've never really been resting because of that, because of AAU ball and summer leagues and all that. It's the same thing with why all pitchers now have to have Tommy John surgery, because it used to be a baseball season, and then you'd go play football or basketball in the cold months, and you weren't putting all that torque on your elbow if you're a pitcher. Now you do that year round in fall ball and summer league and all that stuff. And like Eddie was saying, nobody's really resting like they used to whenever they were kids. And so over a period of time, this stuff adds up.
And speaking of kids, like I bet I can go outside or look or hit somebody up on the internet right now. Hey, where's the nearest 7-on-7? Hey, where's the nearest summer league? Even the kids ain't resting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It starts there.
And so I'm gonna pose this question to you fellas before we move on, because I know we got other things we want to talk about. Does this require a culture shift, or do we shorten? Because you're hard pressed to shorten the season, because every league is money hungry. You can ask players that they don't want to take a pay cut. So now if they're playing 65, 72 games or whatever, now the ticket's going to be that much more expensive, because I promise you nobody wants to take a pay cut to play.
They already have had the culture shift. It's called load management. That's why they do that stuff now.
Well, when I
that's
say
why on any given
shift,
night, you have a star that might not play in back-to-back nights. It's because they're trying to avoid this kind of stuff.
Well, the thing about it is, when I say culture shift, I'm talking about from the very beginning that, maybe some of this AAU, do we dial back some of this AAU?
It's too big a business now. It's not. That'll never happen. This is the way it is.
It's big. It's big business. It's big business.
This is the way it is now.
Like Scottie D and I, we're on the forefront of it, because we both work with programs that involve high school athletics, and we hear the story about the travel team. We hear the story about the AAUs. We hear a lot of stuff, and it's just like, I'm like, that's why, like, a lot of times, like a lot of kids, they fault it. I don't want to do this no more. Why? Because it goes from when we were growing up. Hey, we played it because we liked it and we wanted to do it. Get the girls and do all that fun stuff. To now, it could potentially be a job, and now I got to treat it like a job, and I got to do year-round training. So it's just, I don't know.
Because it's one of those things because at some point in time, because it's not the high schools that put the pressure on the kids to do all this stuff. It's more or less college recruitment that puts the pressure on these guys, and they think they need to do this stuff to be on that next level, and put together their highlight packages and stuff like that, and all this stuff. That's where I'm just sort of like trying to figure out, where is there that innate need for travel ball for players, young kids, to think that they need that to be successful. That's where
That's just how it is, and it's not going to change. My niece played on the high school volleyball team this year as a freshman, but she has tournaments on weekend all through the spring, and it cost me $12 to get in to watch her play. I mean, it's crazy.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Is that the kid that wants it, or is that the parents that are trying to push their kid to the next level?
It's somewhere. Everything. It's both. It's like you fall behind if you don't get involved with that kind of stuff. And your coaches.
Hey, chat. Let us know what you think, man, about this whole athletes overtraining, overworking. Is it too much, or what has to be done in order for it? The chat box. You know, our viewers, they can type their comments and chats and all that fun stuff. So
we do. We have one of them.
Yeah, we got one of them. We got one of them. We're gonna give you a tutorial after we get to record Scottie D.
He knows it, man. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I know it.
You know what we talk about. He just cut it out.
I knew we had a chat box.
just being Scott. I get it. Nothing wrong with that. And
I'm playing with him today.
I got you. All right, fellas. You think the Thunder can run it back, or who's gonna emerge out the West or the East to challenge them? What say y'all?
Yeah, they can run it back. They're young and they're good.
Yeah, I'm like, and I know it's part of this whole culture that we do. The way too early predictions. I think, let's let this marinate just a little bit. Let's at least get the NBA draft and figure out what teams do to build after the draft. Let's bring that back. Let them go to Disney World and celebrate and enjoy themselves. Oh, and back a quick rant to all these so-called sports media outlets and groups and everything that are on Facebook and whatnot. Stop it. Again, this is not the first championship in franchise history. They were the Seattle Supersonics, same franchise. This is the first time that Oklahoma City has won a championship, but not the franchise. Get the wording correct. Yahoo Sports, I'm so disappointed in y'all. I don't know what the hell James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook had anything to do with this year's team. I mean, if anything, you should be thinking Paul George and the teams that were making these dumb trades to pick up Paul George. That's the person that should be on your thing, because that's
your boy Scottie D. Playoff P.
That's P helped build this whole NBA Finals.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the one you should be by Playoff.
If you're gonna credit somebody, shoot. Speaking of Kevin Durant, you want to go ahead and segue into that?
Look how I'm like halfway
in the water. Halfway in the water. But speaking of that, Kevin Durant was a Thunder Steeler.
A god from the ocean. Look at that.
Cool? Boy, here we go. Kevin Durant was a Thunder Steeler. Pun intended, pun not intended. It all depends how you want to take it, because he made news mere hours before Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It was announced at Fanatics, the Fanatics event in New York, that Kevin Durant was traded from the Suns to the Houston Rockets. All right. So here's what the Rockets get. The Rockets get 36-year-old superstar, still averaging 26.6 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game. The Suns get a whole entire haul. The Suns get Jalen Green, Dylan the Villain Brooks, a 2025 number 10 overall draft pick, and not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. Count them, 5 future second-round draft picks. Now, Kevin Durant said, he said he found out the trade live on stage at the Fanatics Fest in New York City, and he admitted he had a feeling, but he was just surprised by the timing, according to SB Nation. Fellas, what are your thoughts about this here trade? How y'all feel about this?
Oh, well, the Rockets were on the rise, and they had a quite a bit of a turnaround in the past couple years, and whatnot. Now they just want to. I just don't see it. I think we're getting to like I don't think it's Kevin Durant. I really think it's the chemistry. We're not building any chemistry with Kevin Durant anymore. They're thinking that the Kevin Durant that the Warriors had, where he was able just to jump in and do, equates to championships. That Kevin Durant, I don't think exists anymore. He's a capable scorer. The dude is definitely up there all time and one of the greats. But at the end of the day, if this NBA Finals didn't show everybody that it's all about chemistry, it's not about superstardom. It's about chemistry. And the Rockets, they fell into this trap thinking that Kevin Durant is going to be the answer to their woes. And young teams with chemistry is the new big three, is the new way of winning championships. And so I just think they went backwards. I think that they had something going with the young team that they have, whatnot. Like I think what was the one dude, Jalen
Green.
Green? He was just like, why? He was like, why did I get traded? He was happy where he was at. They
Yeah.
just one of those things where they had something together. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Houston the number 2 ranked team?
Number two in the
Yeah,
West. I think it's two in the West or two in the league.
two in the
Two in the
West.
West. Yeah.
They're number 2 in the West, and they say, "Oh no, we're good. We're going to leverage our future with second round draft picks, eh, but they still hold value." And I think this disrupts it. I think, and I'm going to predict this a way too early prediction. I think the Houston Rockets win less than 52 games this coming year. I think they are not. I don't think they're going to be as good. I think Kevin Durant's going to disrupt the chemistry that they had, and we'll see. Oh boy.
Hmm. Scotty D, your thoughts on KD going to the Rockets? Good,
I
bad,
don't know,
indifferent?
man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I watched KD play one time. I have no idea if he's any good anymore. They still got Sam Cassell down there in
Wow.
Houston.
Just
No.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not going to be better than the Thunder. How about that? I know that's not going to happen. They probably won't be better than the Timberwolves because they're getting better.
Yeah. Everybody's getting better. So.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think of the Knicks next year? The East is open. The two best players on the team's better than them got bad Achilles.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
We could
I
be
don't know.
looking at a Knicks versus Bronny series a year from now. It
stop
could
it.
be.
Knew that was coming. I was waiting for it.
We could finally be getting our dream scenario. Luka's losing weight. Bronny's getting better. Knicks versus Bronny this time next year.
All right. So speaking of Bronny, let's talk about his dad. His dad is making waves in the news talking about ring culture.
Segue. See that? Be
Yep.
live. That's a segue.
That's a segue. Talking about ring culture and the ring culture criticism of LeBron James. Be live now. Break this down to us how we got to this here discussion about LeBron James and ring culture.
Okay. Okay. You set me up right there because see,
My bad.
because I was going to be extremely biased, but I'm gonna try to be unbiased. And well, LeBron James was interviewed, and I really honestly I didn't really dig too deep in what question led up to this response. I usually am pretty good about that, but I was so irritated by the response in general. I literally jumped to a conclusion. But LeBron James was basically this is what he was trying to state. He was trying to state that players like Charles Barkley in basketball, players like Dan Marino in football, and other players like that are great players. They are like literally top what if you want to put him in the upper echelon, Hall of Famers, et cetera, et cetera. He's basically trying to say that this whole where they're not great because they didn't win championships is like just is wild to him.
Mm.
And I get that little portion, but I'm always the type of person when it comes to anything that's being said, consider the source. LeBron James, you are not the person to make that statement. Like you've done so much in your career chasing rings that like you're not the best spokesperson. And first thing that popped in my head when I saw the interview, heard what he said, I'm like, isn't this the same dude that took his talents to South Beach and was talking about not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7?
Yeah.
You chased rings, my
He
dude.
chased her.
Mm-hmm.
Like you knew how important rings, championships were to your legacy. That's why you left your hometown team. You knew that they were not building a successful team around you so to win a championship. So you left. You made an hour-long special sponsored by or proceeds going to the Children's Hospital. Wasted an hour of my freaking life talking about taking your talents to South Beach because you were chasing a ring. And now because you didn't get enough rings, now you want to come back and say, oh, it's not about rings. Oh, this ring culture is toxic and blah, 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 whatever he said. You can't do that, bruh. You can't do that. There's a lot of players that can actually make that argument. LeBron James,
Can I tell you?
Go, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Can I tell you? I'm going to expose the mystery of this whole conversation.
Mm.
This was LeBron chiming in on the LeBron Jordan, who's the greatest of all time conversation, and he did it in code. Here's what he said. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has one ring. That's code. Brady is Jordan. He's Peyton Manning. He has less rings. That's code. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about himself in this whole thing. He says, you sit here, that Allen Iverson, Barkley, and Nash, they can't be talked about, these guys, because that's you're making up an argument. Nobody's saying that those guys aren't great. Never heard anybody saying those guys aren't great.
Oh, the classic straw man argument.
He just made that up. Nobody ever says that those guys aren't great and that they aren't in the room. He's coming down to the fact that people argue who's greater, Jordan or LeBron, and he's just throwing this is all code for that. Give me a break with that. He is Peyton Manning in that argument because he has less rings than Michael Jordan, and that's where he was making the Tom Brady Peyton Manning argument. Give me a break. We know what you're doing, LeBron.
That's what irritated me so bad about it. Was like, yo, you can't come after the fact and be like, oh yeah, rings aren't important anymore. It's because you didn't get the rings. Come on, bro. That was weak. That was weak. I'm like,
not setting a good example for Bronny.
And he also said, quote, I don't play for rings. I play for the best versions of me. Rings don't define my legacy.
See?
Is you lying to?
Yeah. Like you said, he not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Yeah.
But like I say, ring culture is a lazy way to measure greatness, especially in LeBron's case. When you look at his all-around dominance, leadership, evolution, and the context of each finals, he's arguably the most complete player. Most complete player. So I mean, like sometimes,
Bron, it's okay being second fiddle, my dude,
and it's okay. Like
you have an incredible career that will not be matched by 99.99% of players. Why is that not okay enough?
Yep.
Look,
Michael
Jeffrey Jordan is just Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah.
To be in the conversation would be perfectly fine for me. Yeah. That's just me though.
And then LeBron, remember, you scored all the points. You're the points. You're up there. Something Michael Jordan didn't do. something you did a little bit better than Michael Jordan, a little bit better than Kobe Bryant, a little bit better than Allen Iverson. So you have this record all to yourself.
You took care of your Achilles, unlike all these other players.
Yeah.
You're good. You're
take care.
great.
You're good. With
You're
that being said,
great,
fellas. Exactly, fellas. With that being said, looking at my phone because I've yet to get a watch. Guess what time it is?
Did Travis Kelce get a new haircut?
Probably did.
Boy.
Did I hear that? Wonder if Taylor likes the new haircut.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. This time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, yo, button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming at you right here on the Sports Bros podcast. We'll be right back after this break.
A lot of people wearing the Slim Shady haircuts again. I don't know where that came from.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
All right, before we hop into our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices, let's talk about the College World Series yesterday and what happened. So according to the NCAA rules, unlike Major League Baseball, you can't argue balls and strikes. So Scottie, what the hell happened yesterday?
Coastal's coach argued balls and strikes. That's pretty much what it was.
Plain and simple. Kevin
Schnall, the manager, head coach, whatever you want to call him for Coastal Carolina. A little bit of I guess you could say it was kind of a quick, the umpire was a little quick to send him to the shower. But I mean, come on, man, it's the World Series. You know that could happen. The umpire's pointing to the dugout, telling you to get back. And he was adamant about coming towards the umpire. And the umpire threw him out of the game. I mean, it's the World Series, man. You gotta be smarter than that. I know a lot of Myrtle Beach people were extremely angry and said, "Oh, the umpires wanted LSU to win and all that stuff," even though they scored 0 runs in the previous game. You know, would I have liked to have seen the umpire be a little bit more tolerant? Yeah, probably. But if you don't give him the opportunity to make that call, he's not going to throw you out of the game. And then the 2-game suspension was because of long, because they didn't give it up. They just kept arguing. They just kept fighting. And I really was unsure why Matt Schilling, the first base coach, got tossed and the 2-game suspension. I thought maybe that was a little bit much. But Schnall has to be smarter than that. I mean, you have to control your emotions. It's the first inning of the most important game of your life. You don't give the umpire an opportunity to toss you. I mean, I know that the balls and strikes were maybe he's missing out of the zone, but that's part of the game, man. You can't do that. You can't put yourself in a position to get run out of there. I'm sorry. I mean, just don't give the umpire the chance.
What did they say?
LSU was the better team. They had better pitching, and that's why the game went. That's why the series went the way it did.
You got anything you want to say about it real quick?
Yeah, real quick. Scottie D, I'm going to send you a protective detail because you are wild for saying that while you're in Myrtle Beach. That's why that is wild behavior. You're in Myrtle Beach.
I know, but it's objective. I'm rooting for Coastal. I'm rooting for Coastal. Obviously, I want them to win, but you can't get tossed. You can't get tossed, man. You have to be smarter than that. You're told you can't argue balls and strikes. The umpire is pointing back to the dugout. Go back in there. Go back in there. I'm giving you the warning. And he said, "What warning?" "I'm giving you the warning." And then he's like, "Well, you missed 3 of them." You're at that point you're showing the umpire up, and he didn't like none too much. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would like the umpire to have maybe been a little bit more tolerant in that situation.
The national championship game.
I get it, but that's right. That's why you can't put yourself in that position.
Come on, man! Like it's so trivial at this point. Like, hey, get the calls right. It'd have been something completely different if the calls were even like slightly off, or no, these are egregious, and we're supposed to sit back and take it just because the NCAA.
You can't show him up in the middle of an inning, though. Maybe in between innings. Hey, man, come on, bro. You're missing. We're looking at the camera. We're seeing you're missing these badly. Tighten up. You can't do that. You just can't go after the umpire.
Umpires shouldn't. It should never be about them ever, and they're making it about them. And the thing about this is, I get it. Scottie D, you're playing devil's advocate, and I appreciate it. It'd be something totally different if this is the professional levels and these guys are coming back for another season, or these are kids. These are seniors that
I
probably
know.
never.
So you can't put yourself in peril of getting run.
Yes, man. You're fighting for your kids. And I'll stand for that any day of the week and twice on Sunday. That rule needs to be changed. Let's have a little slight discussion about it. Now, if you go a little overboard, then yeah, I get it, but not during the national championship game. There's a reason why these games are a little bit more lax. You don't call those little pissant fouls. You don't call those little it might be a little occasional holding in football. You don't make those calls because it doesn't affect the play of the game that much. This affects the entire game plan because you're now in the biggest game of your life and you don't have your skipper. You don't have your first base coach. And you're telling me that because the umpire is making bad calls that I can't defend my players and I can't say anything?
It's not the matter of that. It's the matter of that that umpire adamantly telling him, get back in the dugout. He's pointing, he's telling, I don't want to hear this. Get back in the dugout. And then you're challenging him. It's
and you can tell the umpire that he didn't want to do it.
Man,
hey,
here you go.
No, for real. He's like, there's a warning. Go back, and then it is what it is. Well, with that being said, once again, thank you to the wonderful and
ever so lovely Miss Button for giving me wings last night and
introducing our favorite.
Oh, you got some Oscars wings.
The choices of the voices. Scottie D with the Oscars. You did it.
Jealous.
Very extremely jealous. Well, we asked you the question. You give us the answer. And Scottie D, what's on tap for this week's choices of the voices? He had some mild wings with no celery and no ranch because
Cajun
ranch for?
Well, no, you're right about the no celery, no ranch, but it was Cajun.
Ooh, you dirty dog.
I like the dry rub Raging Cajun from Oscars.
Always good. It's good. It's always good.
Because Burger King was closed. They closed Burger King now. 11 o'clock, Burger King was closed. My flight was delayed. Kroger's closed. Burger King's closed. Oscars, you open? Yep, here I come. Okay. Anyway,
couldn't go to K. Rogers.
The question I asked was, what fan base of a team that won a championship do you feel is least deserving? And I let you use your own interpretations of why you thought that would be. And what did the people tell us, Eddy Kool?
That's easy. The Philadelphia Eagles. Any team that celebrates own version of the curse of the Bambino. Well, from the looks of it, Matty Ice, it's not going to happen anytime soon because the Eagles look dominant, and I think they're the favorites to run it back one more again in the NFL.
Before you continue, Matty Ice, I told you I was going to do this. You were disrespectful. I ain't going to have it. Me and Matty Ice are in this other group on Facebook, Trash Talk, Leave Your Feelings at Home. That's the name of the group. And he want to come in there bad-mouthing Clemson, knowing that I'm in this group. And I told him, I was like, you bold. You forget that I'm about to record this podcast the next day, and you talking fresh about Clemson. I'm right here. You see me, Matty Ice. Don't do it no more. Don't do it. Don't you do it.
Man, you wild. You wild something else. All right, with that being said, MJ Markley, he says, baseball, the Dodgers. So he calls out the Dodgers for having a whole bunch of money and doing what they do best by winning. William Jarger, he says, the University of Pittsburgh fans, they are arrogant. One group of kids that told B-Live to go back to Clemson.
Pitt hasn't won a national championship since he's been born.
I think the joke is still on you.
Yeah, maybe.
He's like, possibly. All right. Mark Williams, he says, them wretched Pittsburgh Steelers. The fact that you've only had 3 head coaches in the history of your team, the fact you can go be a winning team they did win the Super Bowl. The fact that Tomlin is actually a really good coach, but you guys have been trying to run him out of town for like the last 10 years. Nah, the Steelers can take the first class trip to football hell for the next 30 years. Ooh, throw some fire, be like, we got some fire
Wow.
emojis, we got some fire graphics, we got some bombs dropping. Like, ooh, boy. God, he went scorched earth, EARF, earth. Damn.
Hey, that's the true definition of the question that was asked.
Yeah.
They deserve nothing and they get nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got AD series. I'm gonna have a conversation with him about this last team because
Oh, yeah.
he said the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Falcons, we can all agree on that one, and the Carolina Panthers. You're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. That's why you did that for.
Mm-hmm. And with him being in parts unknown, he was probably somewhere celebrating parts unknown Oklahoma. So
Yeah.
oh man, but yeah, you're disrespectful. AD, I told you about this. You know that there's two Panthers fans on this program, and you're gonna come on our program on our question. All right. All right. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Did us certain dirty. With that being said, shout out to Matty Ice, MJ, Will Georgia, Mark Williams, and AD Series for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Scottie D, who does not deserve to win anything at all? See,
Carolina Hurricanes.
Whoa,
mouth.
whoa.
Okay, here, let me just run through this. Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, Tampa Bay Lightning, Vegas Golden Knights. No. Yeah, no reason to be I have no reason to be happy for those fan bases with these new teams and warm weather winning Stanley Cups. Canada hasn't won one in 30 years. The original teams, they're not winning. These, the last 6 years, 4 times there's been a Stanley Cup champion from the state of Florida. What reeks of hockey less than Florida in June? These teams haven't had any suffer. Okay, let me take it a step further. Florida Marlins won the World Series in 97 and 2003. 1993 was year one for that franchise. The Arizona Diamondbacks won the World Series in 2001. 1998 was the first year of that franchise. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve that in their 4th and 5th years. I'm a Pirate fan, baby. I've been bleeding back black and gold. I haven't seen a series win since I was 6 years old, 1979. That's not fair. That you don't deserve that, Arizona Diamondback fan. You don't deserve that World Series. Florida Marlin fan, you don't deserve that 96 championship. Then you break the team apart and you buy another team in 2003. You don't deserve it. 2001 Diamondbacks, right after 9/11 happened, you're playing the Yankees and you win the World Series on a broken bat, beat the Yankees. You don't deserve that. You haven't had enough time to suffer and feel pain, and you get your champion. You don't deserve it. You're not a diehard, lifelong, forever fan. You don't deserve that.
Sir, so why in the world did the Florida Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Vegas Golden Knights catch stray bullets when your beef is with baseball?
Because I'm a Penguins fan too. You don't deserve it. I'm cold in the wintertime. I'm cold all winter. And then when the weather get a skin, not fair. Not fair. I'm ending it with hockey. I'm cold. I'm cold in January. I'm cold. And you're warm in January, Florida Panther fan. I'm bundled up, waking up and scraping snow off my car, and you're going to the beach, and then you get a Stanley Cup on top of it? Not fair. No, you don't deserve it. I do. Be live your answer. Over to you.
The state has a total of 4 Stanley Cups, Scottie D. Florida has a total of 4 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
It is not my fault that the Hartford Whalers decided to go to a better scene.
Hartford fans deserve it, not you.
They weren't doing next to nothing in Hartford other than playing the and that's
being
all
in the
they
league
had.
4 years and get a Stanley Cup. Sorry, no.
Hey, man,
guys going, hey, we got a hockey team down here now. Let's go for them. They're in the Stanley Cup Finals. I didn't even know we
You
had a
are
hockey team
you're
till this
in
morning.
South Carolina
Yeah.
right now, and now
Yeah.
you're mocking
Yeah.
Carolinians.
Yeah, and
You don't want
Coastal,
to. You don't want to get back
you're
home.
out of here for arguing balls and strikes. You're out.
You
You missed 2
Scotty,
games. You're suspended.
Scotty D, what did the fans say when they won the Stanley Cup?
We have a chance to win the cup. We got us a hockey team down
Eddy
here.
Kool,
Did y'all know that?
Do not endorse
Not
behavior.
the Winston Cup, but the Stanley Cup.
Don't
Because you know the Winston Cup
Yeah.
was a racing car cup.
That's the game they play on the
Eddy
ice.
Kool.
That's the game they play on the ice.
Eddy Kool, I'm telling you, stop. You need to don't endorse this mess because
These are B-Live's.
Boy, you is all
Watching
you
the Stanley
in
Cup
Myrtle
final
Beach.
with jersey so bright red because they just got it out of the box.
That's what's
Tag
wrong.
still hanging
That's
off.
what's wrong. That's what's wrong with Myrtle Beach now.
Yeah.
A bunch of Northerners coming down here mocking how we do things down here. Yeah.
All right, B-Live. Who
right.
deserved not to win?
You don't deserve
it.
Well, yeah, Eddy Kool, you know where I'm going with this. Because the South Carolina Gamecocks, they don't deserve anything. I'll women's basketball, I'll give you that. That's about all y'all deserve. But everything else, you know why Game Chicken fans don't deserve anything?
Make it good.
Your fans are insufferable. Just delusional. And my friends, my people that well, some of y'all. I mean, me getting ketchup bottles thrown at my head. I can't. I mean, I can't really live that down, Amanda. I'm just saying, like, just because I just so happen to be rooting for Tennessee, but that I get ketchup bottles thrown at me.
I'm sure you were quietly, class and gracefully rooting for the other team. If I know you.
Oh, he was. Oh, yeah. He was, Scotty D. He really was. Yeah.
But let me
random
break
ketchup bottles don't find
their
way to your head just randomly, you know.
But if I hear one more Game Chicken fan chanting SEC, oh, the SEC is so much tougher, and that's the reason why Clemson it doesn't deserve any of the things that they have. What this is the rivalry isn't between the ACC versus the SEC. It is South Carolina versus Clemson. And y'all constantly keep bringing up the conference because you don't have anything for yourself. And that's why you don't deserve anything, because you can't even root for your own team. You have to root for your conference. Dead last in the conference in basketball, second to last in the conference in baseball, and yet you want to chirp about, oh, you want to chirp about the SEC? You're the bottom dwellers of the SEC. You shouldn't even have the right to even talk to a Clemson fan at this point in time, because we go to playoffs. We made it to the college football playoff. We made it to the big dance in March Madness. We made it to the baseball playoffs. And y'all chirping about the SEC?
Are we just using this time as an excuse to roll out Clemson accolades?
No. I'm just saying.
Pretty
That's
much.
why the Game Chickens don't deserve anything. These Coop fans are the absolute worst. Like, they're making up all types of arguments just to argue at this point in time, just to troll. They're trolls. You want to chime in? You want to say that?
Yeah, I want to chime in. You know what? The Clemson Tigers, you know what? As I'm looking at a lint roller, and it just hit me. The lint roller is orange. No wonder I'm breaking out on my forehead. The only thing orange in my house is orange juice. I had a shirt. It was peach. It started looking orange. I threw it out the window. I don't even eat oranges like that. I can't stand orange. I'm looking at this orange line on my computer. I hate oranges. I hate orange lines. I hate orange peppers. But most of all, I hate them orange-ass Clemson Tigers. Oh, I can't stand them. With the little tiger paw and purple. What team you know is powerful that wears purple? Black and garnet, those are strong.
That's military. The military appreciation. Don't go.
We like the military too. Okay, we appreciate them a great deal.
Don't do that now. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, but
Brawny wears purple.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Clemson. Just cause you want to just cause you exist. Scottie D, what's the question for next week? Choices of the voices. I almost cussed on this doggone thing.
So
wait a minute. You see this? You see this? That's you can't see it. It's an orange marker. I don't even know what it's doing in there.
Was your answer always Clemson, or did it turn to Clemson after I started?
Be like you left me no choice. I'm not gonna sit there and let you punch me in my mouth like that. Oh no.
Yeah, I say that the show just took a little turn here from asking what fan base was least deserving to just a little family squabble here.
Yeah, I'm here sweating. No AC on. It's 39,000 degrees outside. Scottie D, what's on tap for next week? I might start cussing.
Yeah, and the Braves don't deserve it either.
What?
Don't even fill the stadium.
You gonna stop?
What?
You gonna stop?
Yeah.
You gonna stop?
Yeah.
You gonna stop?
Yeah. That's what you get.
Out of all the fan bases, the Braves fill their stadium, my dude. I'm gonna need you to pick a team because I know the Pirates don't fill their stadium. I know that.
They've been terrible for 30 years.
That's not the point.
But whenever we made that wild card game in 2013, it was packed in that joint, boy.
Oh
packed.
Shoot!
Cueto, packed. All right.
Wild card game. Meanwhile, we went to the World Series and won it all a handful of years ago. The wild card
game.
I'm looking at the date. You mentioned 2013.
Yeah.
Michael Kadire was
in the 90s. The Braves couldn't fill a stadium. They were going to the World Series for their annual fall collapse. All right,
2021 World Series champions. I'm just saying,
in front of a half-empty stadium.
Yeah.
All right,
what's on tap?
This guy can't even decide which team he wants to root for in baseball. Got the nerve to talk about my Braves. And 2013. That's the last time the Coops had a win streak against my Clemson Tigers, man.
Oh, so now you killing two birds with one stone. You're killing two birds with one stone.
He won this in 2013.
Scottie D was on tap for next week.
I'm glad I made the Cheerio comment. All right. This is going to be, we're going to pivot back to football. I've never actually done this type of question before, but this is going to be a fill in the blank. We're in the mini camp season and OTA season. In the 2025 NFL season, Aaron Rodgers will make the Pittsburgh Steelers a blank team. And you get to fill in the blank next week. 2025 NFL season, Aaron Rodgers will make the Pittsburgh Steelers a blank team. Fill in the blank, and that'll give us something to talk about next week. Eddy Kool.
Does it rhyme with hit and look like this color right here? Oh, okay.
We might have to.
It can.
Like parentals. What's the like explicit language? And we
got to slap an E on this. On next
mature audiences.
NC 17.
This could turn vulgar.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron freaking Rodgers. You kidding me?
So
that should get some action.
Yep. In the words of Scottie D, that should give us something to talk about on next week's Choices of the Voices. Somebody might cuss. I'm gonna try my best to remain professional, but who knows? Somebody might cuss. And with that being said, thank you for joining us for another edition of the Choices of the Voices. Be live. Grab that pepper grinder. It's time for a round of pepper. Stick stay. Don't you dare go away. This is the SportsBros podcast.
Get back in that dugout, be live, or you're going to be suspended for 2 podcasts.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
You heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, around the pepper. You know how we do it, baby. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of. Not really here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. With that being said, Be Live, since it's just me and you, because Scotty D had to go tend to some business, as the old folks said back home, I'll go first. On this day in history, back in 1927, New York future Baseball Hall of Famer first baseman Lou Gehrig hits 3 home runs in the Yankees' 11-4 victory over the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. Lou Gehrig, one of the best to ever do it. Be Live, over to you.
Oh man, oh man. Well, speaking of baseball, this past week, oh my beloved Atlanta Braves. I tell you what, we can't sweep the Rockies. We lose the series against the
The
Marlins,
Rockies.
but we can sweep the Mets. Somewhere make it make sense. But one of those games that we swept the Mets, there was a little bit of blunder by the guy, the $765 million man, Juan Soto, where he was on first base and a ball was sharply hit to the outfield, and Ronald Acuna, my dude, ran it down and caught the ball on the warning track. Juan Soto, instead of watching the ball, is watching the umpire, waiting on the umpire to make the call that the ball was caught and he's out. All in the meanwhile, while he's waiting for the umpire, Ronald Acuna throws the ball back to first, tags him up for a double play, and Juan Soto blames the umpires because they didn't make the call fast enough. $765 million. And I've never played baseball before. I can tell you that I'm watching the ball at all times.
The ball.
$765 million? Yeah, that's money well spent. Eddy Kool. The ball.
Man, they've been torturing him online as of late. They've been doing it in English and in Spanish. All right. They've been lighting Juan Soto up. All right. In the world of programs, aka professional wrestling, on this day in history, back in 1939, Bronco Nagurski beats Lou Thesz in Houston, Texas to win the NWA World Heavyweight title. Bronco Nagurski, yes, that Bronco Nagurski, who's also a NFL Hall of Fame as well, too. Yep, so the Bronco beat the GOAT, Lou Thesz, to win the belt. Be Live, over to you.
All right. We spoke a little bit about how the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup 42, and Scotty D says they don't deserve it. Well, one player that might sort of deserve a Stanley Cup, he has one back in 2007, but this guy has got one heck of a Stanley Cup streak. By the name of Corey Perry, because the last 5 Stanley Cups, 4 different teams that he's participated in, he's been on the losing side of the Stanley Cup, and where he lost with the Dallas Stars in 2020, he lost with the Montreal Canadiens in 2021, and the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2022, before losing last year and this year with the Edmonton Oilers. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024, 2025. 5 out of the past 6 years, Corey Perry has been on a team that's made it to the Stanley Cup final and lost. Ouch. Eddy Kool. The ball.
Yeah, boy, that's gotta hurt. All right. Got something unique for you. Yeah, got something unique here for you, Be Live. Third and final point on this day in history, back in 1963, New York Mets Jimmy Pearsall hits his 100th home run. And Be Live, guess how Jimmy celebrated this milestone moment?
Oh, what did he do?
Jimmy circled the bases backwards.
Oh, wow.
Now, Yeah. And you thought hot dogging and showboating was a 21st century thing. Nah. Jimmy Persall said, 100? Let me start running this way. Be live. Over to you. Take us on, partner.
Yep. Well, it's very interesting when it comes to my third and final pepper point. And I'm a little bit upset that Scottie D is not here for it, because he would have a field day with this third and final pepper point because of his well-documented disdain for the world sport of football, aka soccer. Well, currently, as right now, the FIFA Club World Cup is taking place in the wonderful United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
And as you started the show mentioning about a heat wave, oh yeah, it's hot.
Very.
It's very hot, especially to a lot of European clubs that are not used to this heat. So much so that Borussia Dortmund out of Germany sent their players, their bench players, back to the locker room instead of being on the sideline for the game because of the extreme heat. So they are actually, the bench is watching the game in the locker room as opposed to being on the sideline. And this is Cincinnati, mind you, right next door to you, my friend, where the temperatures was up in the 90s Fahrenheit or up in the 30s Celsius, as the European countries would like to read the temperature, and they said, nah, this weather is doing too much. Y'all just go, y'all get some water in you and sit this one out. We'll come get you if we need to substitute somebody. But yeah, this weather is not agreeing. So that would have been something that Scottie D would have probably added. Oh man, soccer players are so weak they can't handle the weather. It's hot.
It's hot, bro. Yeah.
It's hot. Yeah. And if you're from a country that probably their record highs is probably upper to mid 70s, upper 80 degrees, and you come to America and you're smacked in the face in Cincinnati, mind you. Cincinnati is not the hottest, but like if Cincinnati's in the 90s, what you think we doing down here in the South?
Bacon. Somebody sent me a Snapchat that said it's 95 degrees down there.
Oh yeah. Whoever fixed my AC in my apartment last year, whatever, man, I love you to death right now. Cause woo, it's hot. It's so hot that soccer players can't stay outside. That's hot. And Scottie D, I'm actually glad that you're not here for this. Yeah, I was anticipating you being here and having a smart mouth, but well, you got business to tend to, so I get to go scot-free. And yes, sir, that'll do it.
Pun intended. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for watching and listening to the SportsBros podcast. Remember, if you like what you hear, man, give us a rate, review, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, whatever, wherever, whenever. Show us some love, give us a comment. Also, check us out on social media. Our Linktree link is clicked right in the chat and discussion box, so that way you can check out everything there is in the world of SportsBros podcast. Be live. Anything you say before we get the hell up out of here and try to stay cool?
Well, it would have been nice if I'd have put the Linktree comment in the chat box, but I didn't.
Hey, it's all good because when they watch the replay, it'll be there. It'll be there.
I just added it just now.
Hey, it's in there.
I'm going to pin it to the top for this last 30 seconds.
All right. And then closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can do something nice for someone else, they'll greatly appreciate it now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. Click the link on the chat box to follow us. This is your favorite sports podcast. On behalf of Be Live, Scottie D, I'm Eddy Kool, and you're watching the SportsBros podcast. Take us home, Be Live.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Stay cool. Take care of each other. Bye. See y'all next week. Hey, it's Eddy Kool here from the SportsBros podcast. Thank you for listening, and as always, continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just click the link in the description box and keep up with the Sports Bros podcast. And once again, thanks for listening.